I just hate it when you're looking forward to watching a storyline during the MLB regular season and it gets cut short before it even begins, and it happens way too often. One of the things I was looking forward to the most this season was seeing a full year from Royce Lewis, and it looks like we're gonna have to wait until 2026 to maybe get that, as he's gonna be starting the season on the IL after trying to leg out a single in a spring training game. This was supposed to be the year, but once again we're gonna have to wait, and even worse, it's starting to become a very regular thing. And to be honest, it's been a regular thing. It's not like the Twins need it either. He's not the only one on the team that has been having a career wrecked by injuries. I know Twins fans were excited and are still excited about what the potential of Royce Lewis is, especially after his playoff performance in 2023 where he clubbed 4 bombs in 6 games. And this is while he was playing through an injury. So it's safe to say that the hype was off the charts for him. And the hype has been there since he was drafted. I don't think a lot of people remember that he was drafted first overall in the 2017 draft. And he's not been a stranger to injuries even before he made his major league debut. It has been much of a stop and go career as possible for him to start off with and still be successful. But at the beginning, everything seemed to be starting off fantastically for him. He had a really solid season as an 18-year-old, hitting .279 with an OPS of .788 in his first season of pro ball. The power wasn't showing yet, but he was doing everything else well and looked to be a great all-around player at a young age. He got some extra base hits, he got on base, almost walking as much as he was striking out. He even stole 18 bases in 54 games, and you're soon going to see why that's not really a part of his game anymore. The next year, he was growing a little bit. He started to hit for more power, 14 bombs across single A and high A, hit .292 with an OPS of around 800, hit 29 doubles, 14 bombs. He stole 28 bases, and that's some excellent progression that you absolutely love to see out of your #1 draft pick. Not to mention that he's now ranked in the top 10 prospects of baseball at this time. In 2019, Royce did struggle a little bit at the higher level of AA, but what he showed in the Arizona Fall League that season was very promising, hitting .353 with a .975 OPS and 85 at-bats. But then 2020 came, and I'm convinced it was shut down to purely keep Royce Lewis from playing any games and achieving any sort of progression. And here where things start to go a little awry for Royce. In February of 2021, before any games have even been played yet, Royce fully tore his ACL in his right knee, and he'd missed the whole of 2021 and more. So this would make 2 full seasons that Royce Lewis was missing out on. And the crazy thing is that Royce or the Twins don't really know how that tear happened. The only real symptom he was having was right knee soreness doing side-to-side running drills. And it's still winter at this time, so he was dealing with this knee soreness, and he ended up slipping on some ice, which exacerbated the right knee soreness. And since this made his knee worse, they would end up getting an MRI on the knee, and they ended up finding the ACL tear. Now, we all know it takes a really long time for an ACL to heal fully, and Royce would end up missing 186 games from this injury. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Royce couldn't get back to where he was and beyond. Just look at Ronald Acuna Jr., for example. He tore his ACL in 2021, he missed a lot of time, and when he came back, he wasn't the same type of player right away. He was healthy enough to play, but not at that level we had seen previously. But then in the year afterwards, when he felt fully healthy, he had MLB's first 40-70 season, so there's no reason to think that Royce couldn't have a good recovery as well. Well, we were about to find a reason. Royce returned to play in 2022 and looked better than ever in AAA, hitting over 300, hitting for power, stealing bases, had an OPS over 900. He was doing everything. It looked like he'd been playing all along, even though he missed all of 2020 and 2021. He earned the call to the majors from this, and he kept up the excellent play. In 40 ABs, he had an OPS over 850, hitting over 300, and it looked like he was here to stay. But when everything was going well, when it finally seemed like Royce was here to stay, he tore that very same ACL on a play in the outfield, just 12 games into his major league rookie season. Well, time to rehab again. This second ACL tear took Lewis out for 189 games, and it's starting to become a very big question whether or not Royce Lewis will become a guy who can contribute to the Twins on a regular basis. And it seems like this is becoming a pattern for the Twins as well as a team. They now have 2 extremely high draft picks. They both became top prospects in baseball at a certain time. Players overall who have major potential, but also a major injury history. That other player being Byron Buxton, who all of a sudden is in his 30s and has only exceeded 140 games played 1 time and only exceeded over 100 games twice. And it's hard not to think that Royce Lewis is on the same sort of path. But Royce recovered from this injury in time to be back in June of 2023, and we were hopefully going to see what Royce was capable of doing. And I think it was pretty fair to have questions about if what he showed during his rookie season was legit, especially considering he only had 40 at-bats and already went through multiple ACL surgeries on his right knee. Well, he shut those concerns down very quickly, hitting .309 with an OPS over 900, OPS plus of 149 and 217 at-bats. But why only 217 at-bats, you ask? Well, of course he would get hit with the injury bug again. This time it wasn't anything as major as ACL tears, but it was still enough to get him on the IL. He strained his oblique, causing him to miss 36 games, and a hamstring strain sprain hit him in September, causing him to miss the rest of the regular season. And despite not being fully healed in time for the playoffs, Royce came back and announced his presence with authority, playing anyway. He hit 2 massive bombs in his first 2 at-bats of the AL wildcard series, helping the Twins get not only their first playoff series win, but first playoff game win in general since 2004 against the Yankees. Nearly 20 years. The Twins would go on to lose to the Astros in the ALDS, but this was hell of a great confidence booster that the Twins and Royce Lewis were heading in the right direction. It looked like Royce Lewis was finally going to get to a healthy spot for the beginning of the 2024 season. He was just coming off a really big postseason. He finished the year moderately healthy, and it looked like he was going to have a normal offseason for what seemed like the first time in his career. And on comes opening day. Everything looks so good. He went 2 for 2 with a bomb in his first 2 at-bats, but in some sick, twisted turn of events, we can't even make it through opening day without something happening to him, as he would exit opening day with a quad injury. I think the Twins might have one of those signs in their dugout where it says how many days have gone by without incident, and it permanently says 0. Royce missed about half of 2024, and when he did play, he didn't perform as well as he did in previous years. That's not to say he played bad though. He still hit 233 with an OPS around 750, and he still hit for some power, hitting 16 homers. And I think it's safe to say that with that injury happening on opening day, he probably didn't get fully healthy at all that year. He might have pushed himself a little bit to get on the field quicker, as the Twins were fighting for a chance to get to the playoffs in 2024, which ended up not happening. They ended up finishing 4th. And here we are in 2025 with Royce beginning the year on the IL with a moderate hamstring strain. So he will be missing some time at the beginning of the year. There is no question that Royce has the talent to become a star in the sport. He has absolutely shown that. In 549 career bats, he has put up a slash line of 267, 327, and a 497 slug with an OPS plus of 126, hitting 33 homers and driving in 104 runs. The problem is that this has been spread out over 3 seasons. Royce is going to be 26 in a couple months, so this could be a very important year in his career, and it's very unfortunate, but it looks like he could become a what-if sort of situation if this keeps up. And it's just crazy that the Twins have 2 players that fit this mold with Royce and Buxton. They are very important to the Twins' success, and on top of that, Carlos Correa missed about half a season last year. Now, Correa isn't even close to a what-if, but these 3 players are very important to Minnesota's success this year and beyond, and it doesn't do them any favors if each of them are hurt for most of the year. I really hope that Royce can come back strong and that this hamstring isn't a sign of things to come this season, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't worried and just flat out disappointed. I was really looking to see what he could do this year, and it looks like we're going to have to wait until 2026 for a full year from him. And who knows if that's going to happen the way things have gone throughout his career so far. Baseball is always better when its stars are healthy and playing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not writing him off. I would love nothing more than for Royce to come back and put up 140 games played this season. Even if he doesn't this year, it's still only his age 26 season. I think there's still plenty of time for him to blossom into a star, but he absolutely needs to find a way to stay on the field.